Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Yeah, robot camera. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, by all accounts. I don't think there were many people, if anyone at all, who'd argue that Michael Jackson wasn't the king of pop. Yeah. Died in 2009. Oh, I've just been on fucking Encyclopedia Born Idlers to get these details. But yeah, 2009 he died. 2009, 12 years ago. Okay, no. And he was skint. He was skint when he died, which is really fucking concerning. Where am I going with this? We're just watching on the television this morning, a programme, and it had Drew Pritchard on it and two other geezers, and it was like a car programme. It was a programme about collectible cars and all these different cars, and they're all worth different amounts of money, and different people got different collections. Oh, that's the impression I got anyway. And the episode I watched, they were at Nick Mason's gaff. They were around his place, or at least around the place. They were at the place where he keeps his cars. Nick Mason is the drummer out of Pink Floyd. I quite like Pink Floyd. You know, I've got a couple of albums. I've got Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, and Momentary Lapse of Reason. That was the first one I bought, Momentary Lapse of Reason. Very much like it. Nice. Well, it was my first album of theirs that I bought. So there you go. Anyway, well, Nick Mason, he's been privy to the handouts that Pink Floyd get. Dark Side of the Moon from the 70s, I think it was. That sold, and again, I've just looked this up on the internet. It were either 40, 45 or 50, I think it might have been 45 million copies. One of the highest selling albums of history. But you haven't had all of history yet. No, chances are there aren't going to be any more albums in the future that'll sell more than that, because they don't sell albums in the same quantities now. They just don't sell. Vinyl's come back. I think I don't know if it's come back. It's got itself back in front of CD sales now. But there were a time, I remember when CDs came out, and they were the best thing ever. Fucking awesome. They were best thing in the fucking world ever. And everyone started buying CDs, and then it got to the point where CDs outsold LPs, and then LPs, pile of shit, blah blah blah. LPs are back in fashion now. The fact of the matter is, CDs being a digital music format, you can copy that, and loads of people did round their own gaff. They got themselves a computer and a CD writer or whatever it is. They got themselves hardware that's commercially, well, not even that's available to the public, and they started recording. They started reproducing CDs that'll play, whatever. And, but a black market economy sprang up. People selling CDs under the counter. They didn't even need a counter to do it. Just sell them, whatever the fuck. Sell them at work to the mates, sell them at whatever. Sell them at car boot sale on a Sunday. And so you don't need to buy, because CDs being digital, it's perfect sound forever, you see. That's the idea. That's the idea that the industry sold. On the back of that, they sold a load of them, and then people realised, it's perfect sound forever, so it doesn't matter. They were well aware of the generational degradation that can happen when you record something. You get to like the fifth or the sixth generation copy of something, and it sounds shit when you're using a tape. When you're using the old Philips, what's it called? The Philips dictation. It was designed at the tape recorder, the tape cassette, designed by Philips, was designed as a dictation medium. You'd have a machine recording on these little cassettes, and it's just for talking. But they started selling music on them, and it's all right. You know, if you pay a few hundred quid for a decent tape deck back in the day, you could get good results off them. Anyway, but you can't do recording after recording after recording. You can't make a copy of a copy of a copy because it suddenly sounds really shit. But with digital, you don't get that. So people suddenly realise, wait a minute, I don't have to buy an original. I can buy it off my mate down at pub or at work or wherever the fuck. And it scuppered the the CD market. And as I say, I think, to my knowledge, LPs are making a resurgence because very few people have access to LP pressing plants. Sorry, LPs are making a resurgence. Vinyl's coming back in fashion. It is. Anyway, so what's this got to do with Michael Jackson? You fucking bald fat Yorkshire twat. You might be asking yourselves. Well, Michael Jackson, as I say, Pink Floyd. There were, I think there's 4 people in Pink Floyd. One of them being Tony Mason. And he's getting a slice. He's getting a slice of the pie. He's got a slice of the Pink Floyd pie there that he can tuck into. And he has done. To good effect. He's got a big fucking collection of cars. Because that's what a lot of blokes like to collect, cars. It's something you can have. You can drive around in it and enjoy it, and 1, 2, 3, and spend loads and loads of money on it. Well, Nick Mason's got a collection of the fucking things, and he spent a load of money on him. Now, Michael Jackson, as I say, and Pink Floyd had Dark Side of the Moon. I think it's one of their biggest selling albums. And it's in the list of biggest selling albums of all time. But it isn't the biggest selling album of all time. That goes to Michael Jackson's album Thriller. It came out in 1982. And this list I we're looking at today, that album sold 70 million copies. 70 fuck-cunting million of the bastards have fucking well flown off the shelves. That is a lot. But Michael Jackson, when he was embarking on the This Is It tour, I think it will call, going to be his last tour, or his comeback tour, or whatever, the tour he was practising for and getting ready for, and he'd sold a load of tickets, and then he died in 2009. He was skint. That's why we're embarking on this tour, so he could get some money in. Because he was skint. He was bankrupt, or he were on verge of bankrupt, or he were in financial dire straits. And he had Thriller. He also had the album Off the Wall. And albums of his that I have. I've got Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. I might have 1 or 2 others. I'm not sure, but those are the 3 that I have. And I don't think Off the Wall, that was his first solo album. It probably sold well, but it did not sell any fucking where near as well as Thriller. Thriller were just fucking hilarious. Money rolling in. Well, that money's gone. 2009. It's gone. Where's it gone? The poor guy. He never had a life. Think of him what you will as to what he may or may not have got up to with kids and that. That's a discussion for another time. And I wouldn't want to discuss that because it's some ghastly horrible shit to contemplate. Whether he did or he didn't do it, I don't know. But he had no money in the end. That's why we're doing that tour. Any motherfucker in the right mind wouldn't be doing a tour at his age. No, tickle to that. All dancing and prancing that he used to get up to. It's a young man's fucking caper, is that? And he were getting on a bit. Good old Michael. But he was skint. And he had the best-selling album. And that was just that album, Thriller. He had other albums, like I say, I suspect Bad and Off the Wall. Subsequently, raking it in. There were that many. It was just a cash cow for all hangers-on. The Michael Jackson hangers-on. Suckling at the teat of the Michael Jackson cash cow to such a degree that he was, like I say, he was skint. Whereas there's all these other folk who've had an album here and there, and they've, you know, they've spent the money wisely, and or they've not got all these hangers on taking the piss.